Nerazzurri fans from all over the world, welcome to the Interglobe, and let's squid again like we did last summer. Oh, let's squid again like we did last year. Do you remember when? Let's squid again. This is the title of the video, and it refers to the Squid game mentality that I evoked multiple times last year. It consists basically in the following. Inter has to put the game to sleep to get to 3-0 the sooner possible. And in order to do that, we have to motivate our squad. And the motivation is that every 10 minutes in which Inter doesn't score a goal, one of the players of the squad loses a little bit of a limb. Could be, this part of a finger or whatever. But that's the kind of motivation that I want to see in the team, You have to score 3 goals ASAP. And last year we lacked this mentality. The year before we just we handed the championship in Milan's hand with our mistakes. 3 years ago with Antonio Conte we did have this Squid game mentality, and I want to see it again with Simone. So, coming to the match, we also have to make a few comments about what's happening in the calciomercato, in the transfer market, because apparently Pavard is very close to Inter, and I'm very happy about that because he has a lot of experience. He's a player who is tall in centimeters, but also in stature, in international stature. He won the World Cup. He's coming from Bayern Munich, and he's also a fast player. His top speed is 33.7. So we are taking a player who is really in the best years of his career. He's 27, so it's a good investment as well. He substitutes Skriniar, but I think he fits much better Inzaghi's ideal defender identikit compared to Skriniar, because Pavard is probably less aggressive and prepotent than Skriniar, but with his feet he's definitely more educated. And he also knows how to score. So I'm really happy about this new player. He hasn't signed yet, but he should do it soon. And then we have, hey amigo, Sanchez is coming back, and I think that we are all super happy at Inter because Correa left. So I want to make a consideration about what seems to be the final forward department of our team this year versus last year. Last year we had Lauti, who scored 21 goals, Lukaku, who scored 10, Dzeko, who scored 9, and Correa, who scored 3, for a total of 43 goals. This year we have Arnautovic, who scored 10 goals last year, and he played only 21 games last year, so you can't say that he scored 10, but he played the whole Serie A championship, unlike Lukaku, who was injured for so long. So he scored 10 goals in 21 games only. And we had Sanchez, who scored 14 goals in Marseille, in France. Yes, in a championship that's less valuable than Serie A, but still. And then we have Thuram, who scored 13. So if we imagine this year the following scenario: Lauti, who has always improved himself year after year, he's been going in a crescendo. Let's say that he only makes one little goal more than last year. He makes 22. Arnautovic makes, like last year, 10 goals, because hopefully he will play more than 21 games. And let's say that Sanchez and Thuram, they both make 9 goals, which I think is a really reachable target. If this happens, 22 Lauti, 10 Arnautovic, 9 Sanchez and 9 Thuram, we score 50 goals, which is incredible if you think about it, right? Because it's against the 43 we scored last year. Yes, last year we did end the championship like 20 points from Napoli, but still, I'm talking about 50 goals instead of 43. Maybe we can have a good dosage of these goals and they can be used more wisely than last year, because last year we also had games in which we won with multiple goals, but we could win instead more games for 1-0 because we have a good defense. And this is just to say that, yes, I believe that we are weaker all in all, because the stature, the weight and the power of Dzeko and Lukaku is not comparable. But the ability of the forward players is more evenly spread, because last year we had three good players and an awful one, Correa, while this year we have four players who are a little bit more on the same level. So this makes me hopeful. And just to end it with the calciomercato, I want to say that all in all, yes, we are weaker, but not as weaker as we were when I made the video talking about the fact that we were weaker, because we have Pavard and Sanchez as an additional value to our team, and this I think makes me give a more objective judgment about what we've done this summer, which all in all I think, considering the situation and the circumstances, is not bad. Coming to the age, because this is another factor that's important, we lost all in all as a squad 30 years compared to last year. This is very good, and I'm sure that we also saved a little money in terms of salaries. Now, let's go to Cagliari-Inter. It's going to be, of course, a tough game. It's going to be super hot. And looking at Lauti again, Lauti has scored 8 goals in his 8 last matches with Cagliari. So he really is inspired when he plays against Cagliari. And by the way, I want to say something incredible about Lauti. Of all the European forward players that scored more than 15 goals in the major 5 championships, Lauti is the player who has the most goals per minute. He scores every 89 minutes. Nobody in Europe does that. This is just to something to keep in mind when we tend to say that he's not a heavy forward, but rather one that should rotate around a more powerful player. It doesn't have to be that way, and he proved that he's the best forward in Europe. So respect for Lauti. I think that, as I say, we will have a tough game, because mechanisms are not lubricated enough yet, even if we're going to start with a lineup that resembles the one we had last year, because again, probably the only players that we haven't seen last year on the pitch in a starting lineup are Sommer and Thuram. We should start with Sommer. And I'm really curious to see him performing, because in the first match he basically didn't touch the ball. Then we're going to have our defense with De Vrij still in Acerbi's position, because Acerbi is still injured, and also because De Vrij is playing so well. Then we're going to have Darmian on the right waiting for Pavard, and on the left we're going to have our usual Bastoni, who played majestically against Monza. Midfield with Barella, Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan, our wonderful trio. On the sides, on the flanks, we're going to have Dumfries and Di Marco, at least to start with, and then forward we have Thuram and Lautaro. It's incredible to see the level, the average level of our squad this year. Last year we had maybe more peaks with Lukaku and Dzeko, but also many downsides with players like Gagliardini or D'Ambrosio, who was playing well but is still at the end of his career. This year every player has a substitute who is more or less the same level, so this is something amazing and that I really love. There's not one player in the squad that I despise. We have Sommer with Audero that could come in, Bastoni, and on the left we have Bissek. We have De Vrij and Acerbi, we have Darmian, Pavard, we have Dumfries and Di Marco, but we also have Cuadrado and Carlos Augusto. In the middle we have Barella, Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan, but we also have Aslani, Sensi and Frattesi. And forward we have Thuram and Lauti, but we also have our Arnautovic and Amigo Sanchez. So we have a really complete squad, and I really hope that this level of experience and ability and talent of all our players will contribute to make also the locker room more cohesive and more unite in this difficult year, because we have teams like Milan, like Juventus, like Roma with Lukaku and Dybala forward, that are really, Napoli of course, that are really difficult competitors for this Serie A. So let's go against the 4-4-2 from Claudio Ranieri, grande Claudio Ranieri, in Sardinia, and let's bring home the 3 points with the Squid Game mentality. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please punch the like button, subscribe, leave a message, and I will see you soon to comment the game. As for now, as always, Forza Magica Inter. Ciao.